What's up, guys? Today we're going to be going over how to ace the SAT math. So, I'm going to be going over some of the hardest questions and highest difficulty math questions on the SAT. Now, I'm getting all these questions from the official SAT and College Board, so these will be on the test, and some of these are very common. Let's get right into it. Okay. Starting off, in the system of equations below, a and c are constants. Ax plus y equals c. If the system of equations has an infinite number of solutions, what is the value of a? Okay, so if there's an infinite number of solutions, that means that these two equations will be equivalent to each other. And this means that a must be 1/2. Wait, no, just kidding. Because we have to look a little closer if we see that y in this one has a coefficient of 1/3, but this y has a coefficient of 1. So, to make these equivalent, let's multiply this equation here by 3 to make it so this equation also has a coefficient of 1. So, times 3 by everything. We get 3 over 2x. And so that means that a, which is the coefficient of x, must be 3 over 2. Now, I'm a great example of what this problem is trying to do, which is trick you guys. So make sure you read the equation carefully, because it is really easy to make a conclusion like, oh, immediately, it must be 1/2. But you have to read the entire equation, read the entire question, and it is pretty simple if you do that. Okay, moving on to the next one. Which ordered pair is the solution to the system of equations above? Okay, so a solution to the system of equations above. So that means that whatever value of x and y will be able to equal whatever it is, make these equations true. So you actually don't really need to solve this. You could just plug these right in, because honestly, it sometimes is easier to sub it right in. But I'll also do it the algebraic way. So if we look at these two equations in a system of equations, what we really want to do is isolate one of those variables. And in this case, I'm looking and I see that negative y and positive y will cancel each other out. They have the same coefficients and they're opposite signs, which means if we add these two equations up, it will get rid of the y. And so that's what I'm going to do. So x plus x equals 2x. Negative y plus y, 0, cancels out, equals 1 plus negative 3, so negative 2. But let's do x squared first. X squared plus nothing. Minus 2. Okay, and this is now a quadratic. In a quadratic, you want to move everything to one side, so minus 2x on both sides. X squared minus 2x, because I want to get it in that x squared minus ax plus b form to be able to factor. But now I realize I can't even factor. So let's scratch this out and let's go back here. And we notice that we can actually complete the square. So completing the square is, not with this equation, sorry, with this equation here. We can complete the square if we do x squared minus 2x equals 2. And again, you can solve a quadratic any way you like, but in this case, I do think completing the square is one of the quickest ways. So to complete the square, we take half of negative 2 and square it. So it would be x, half of negative 2 is negative 1 squared. Well, negative 1, you square everything. equals, and it would be, we're adding 1 to each side, so it would be 3. So x equals 1 plus or minus 3 root 3. So we can see here that it can't be C, can't be D, it can't be B either, it must be A. So this one really comes down to just being a system of equations problem, and the first major step is identifying that these two y's will cancel each other out, or you could always try to cancel out x somehow, but in this case it'd be very difficult because we have this x squared, which is why I went for this y, and it was perfectly set up for that. So once you know how to isolate one of the variables, it gets pretty easy. Okay. Moving on. So we have this fraction here, and it says it equals x a over b for all positive values of x. What is the value of a over b? Okay, so this one is just an algebra problem, and if we look here, x to the power 5 but is a square root. So I'm gonna do this. If something is to the power 5 but square rooted, you would do this, because 2 is technically the thing that it's under here, and so it would be 2. So that equals the same thing over, and now this case would be the same thing, to the power 4 over 3 this time. So now we can use our exponent rule. Since these have the same base, we can do 5 over 2 minus 4 over 3. And if you don't remember the exponent rules, this is one of the rules. If you have the same base, you can subtract these if they're on a fraction. So 5, oh, okay, well I'm just going to solve this. It's getting messy. 5 over 2 minus 4 over 3, that equals 2 over 6. Where's my, okay, which is just 1 over 3. Wait, 15 minus 8, oh, 7. Sorry, 7 over 6. So that must mean the value of a over b is 7 over 6. Now this one is kind of tricky because you must know that the first step is trying to understand these, just give meaning of what this even means and not get overwhelmed by this. Once you do and you're able to transform to something like this, you can understand, oh, now I just have to use the exponent rules. So the main thing here is just trying to understand and know what first step to take. This is a long one. So we have a function here which models the number of coupons a company sent to their customers at the end of each year, where T represents the number of years since the end of 1998. And T is between 0 and 5 inclusive. If y equals T graphed on the plane, which of the following is the best interpretation of the y-intercept of the graph in this context? So, honestly, you really don't even have to solve anything here. You have to solve much. You just try to understand what this means. So this is basically saying that T, we replace it with how many years since the end of 1998. So but it's only from 0 to 5. So we're only going till 2003. So it's from 1998 to 2003. And the y-intercept is just when x equals 0. But in this case, x is actually t. So it's basically saying when it's t equals 0, when it's been 0 years, which is just 1998. So we can see that a and b are already gone because it's not saying anything during the 5 years. It's saying just during 1998. So at the end of 1998, we can actually solve this now. So 0.65 to the 0 is just anything to the 0. You have to be careful here. Anything to the 0 is not just 0, equals 1. So that means 8,000 times 1, we get this answer, D. The coupons they sent to their customers at the end of 1998 was 8,000. This one is a long, wordy question where they really try to get you with the information and way they're representing the information. But it's important to pick out the key facts and really focus on what they are asking you. Okay. The number A is 70% less than the positive number B. Number C is 80% greater than A. The number C is how many times B. So they're trying to trick you again, trying to get you confused. But let's just do this step by step. A equals is, keyword is. Is, in a lot of cases, just means equals. Is 70% less than the positive number B. So it's B minus 7/10 of B. So basically, it's just saying it equals 3/10 of B. Okay, the next one, the number C is, see the word is again, it means equal, 80% greater than A. So that means A plus 80%, which is 8 over 10, 8/10 of A. And again, now we can see this is really just 18/10 of A. So number C is how many times B. Okay, so now they're asking us to get an equation where we're saying some type of C equals B with different coefficients, or B equals C. And to do that, we can just substitute, in this instance, A, because A equals 3 over 10B. And we can substitute that right into this equation. So we can get 18 over 10 times A, but in this case A is just 3 over 10B. And this equals C. So we can now do this. 18 times 3 equals 54 over 100. And now we can see it is 54%, 0.54 times B. A really helpful strategy for these type of questions is just going along each sentence by each sentence, just breaking down, writing equations for what they're meaning, like I did here, and it becomes quite simple. Okay, last one. What is the diameter of the circle in the x-plane with equations x minus 5 squared plus y minus 3 squared equals 16? So, if you do not know the equation for a circle on a plane, then you need to learn it because it is really important. So this is a standard form of a circle, and this is actually r squared. So, and these two numbers, just for reference, is the center of the circle. So if 16 equals r squared, r must equal 4, which means the diameter is 8, because it's 2 times r. And you need to be careful because it's diameter, not radius. They put 4 here to try to get you to put 4 instead of 8, because some people might forget to multiply there. So make sure not to do that. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any more questions, comment down below. Comment what you want me to teach about math, and subscribe because I post videos like this all the time. Hopefully they're helpful for you guys, but make sure to like and subscribe. Thanks.